Stress is not the price of ambition. It is the signal that your internal systems are failing. Thank you for listening to Routine is Revenue, your place to build routines and bank results. I'm Ildikó Sealey, the routine queen, and I work with business owners who are capable, driven, and quietly overwhelmed because their internal systems are overloaded. Today's episode is for you if you are ambitious, you feel under pressure, and you are ready to build mental resilience instead of just pushing harder. In routine reset number 4, we will look at stress regulation and not stress elimination. What we are going to explore is how breathing, downregulation, and micro pauses can help stabilize your nervous system. This will let you think clearly under pressure. This will help you respond instead of reacting, and it will prevent chronic stress from becoming your default operating state. Running a business or building a career can keep your nervous system switched on far more than you realize. And one day you just find yourself in a state where pressure has become the normal. Tension has gone unnoticed, and stress has quietly become your baseline. Now, you might still be functioning, but still getting things done, but you are no longer operating at your best. But then when stress remains unregulated, everything else will feel harder. Small issues will trigger big reactions. Your decision will take longer than they should. And then what happens? Your creativity drops to lower levels than you would like. Gradually, your capacity will shrink. Now, over time, you will start to believe that this constant strain is just part of being ambitious. But what do you tell yourself? You might say that this is the price of responsibility. But do you realize that belief is really quite costly? Because when stress runs unchecked, your clarity will disappear. Your leadership will weaken, and it erodes your resilience. And that is exactly when you end up reacting to situations rather than responding with intention. Now, in episode 53 last week, we discussed it with Sam Woons, that stress regulation matters greatly because your ability to lead depends on it. The clarity depends on it. Your clarity depends on it. And the longevity of your business and consequently your life depends on it. So learning how to downregulate allows you to stay steady under pressure running a business or building a career brings. It will give you the ability to pause, to breathe, and to regain control when things feel intense. It allows you to respond instead of react. So earlier we talked about clarity. Now, stress regulation is what protects it, and it protects your long-term capacity to lead your business without burning yourself out in the process. Who wants to know how? Well, I expect you do, and that's why you're listening. Now, a very important differentiation is stress regulation starts with awareness, not control. You see, you cannot eliminate pressure, especially in business or when building your career. But what you can change is how your system, your internal system, responds to it. So instead of pushing through every single demand, regulation allows you to notice when your nervous system is overloaded and bring it back into balance. And that pause is what restores choice. Because when stress is regulated, your thinking improves. Your perspective returns. You're better able to assess situations when everything is feeling urgent or threatening. And that alone changes how you lead. Over time, this builds resilience. What you will notice is that you recover faster. You will find that you will stay steadier during uncertainty. And that is how you protect your capacity to make decisions without being hijacked by stress responses. You see, the misconception is that stress regulation is about being calm at the time, but it's actually about staying functional, clear, and grounded when things are demanding. And then when stress is no longer dictating your behavior, that's when you will regain authority over how you show up. You see, before I learned all this, I used to think that stress was the same as having some kind of adrenaline rush to get me through the situation or even the entire day. But then I learned about micro breaks. And these are quick nervous system resets. And when I find that I can't see the wood for the trees because I'm so deep into it, I just stop, breathe, just take a little break. All I need is a few minutes. And one of the most effective resets, well, for me personally anyway, is just closing all the tabs on my laptop. And that is an instant reset between tasks. Now, there's another way, which is very effective. That's like just closing my eyes and take a deep breath, do a little stretch, and just simply turn away from my screen. But the absolute most effective one is actually going for a little walk. Or if you've got the choice, just go and walk around in the garden. And that 5-minute break in fresh air and the movement combined, they are the best regulators. So just take notice, please, that taking these 1 to 5-minute little micro breaks between tasks really helps you keep your energy steady throughout the entire workday. Most importantly, it will help prevent your burnout. So here's a question for you to think about. What if stress stays unchecked? So here you are, you keep pushing, you keep coping, you keep telling yourself it's just a busy phase, but somehow the pressure stays very high. Somehow the tension just becomes normal. And what this means is that stress quietly becomes your baseline. I mean, you are still functioning, but with notably less patience, alarmingly less creativity, and I bet certainly less clarity. So on the face of it, nothing obvious collapses, but your capacity shrinks away over time. You notice that small things will feel heavier and decisions will feel harder. And one day, you just end up wondering, what happened to my resilience? Well, I can tell you exactly what happened to your resilience. It's just worn thin. And then when stress is not regulated, well, it eventually starts making decisions for you. And not because you're weak, but because your system is overloaded. And that is not sustainable leadership. So when should you address this properly? Well, certainly not when you burn out. Not when your patience has already gone. And not when your pressure finally forces you to stop. Because the right time is now, while you are still functioning, when you are still leading, when you are still building your business and your career. Because if you are staying steady under pressure, it matters to you because you take action. If you're starting to see how small gaps in your routines are adding up, your next step is really simple. So you see, I'm leading the routine revolution by offering a small number of private conversations for business owners who want to structure and consistency without the burnout. No funnel, no pressure, just explore the work. And I've just been disturbed by Poppy, who I'm puppy sitting, talking over me. But anyhow, take a look at the Routine Revolution on my website and see what resonates. The website is routinerevolution.co.uk. Start the week the way you want to compound, and remember, a healthier you makes a wealthier you.